Got it to Besser in front. Backhander scores. The puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrows is pressed. Off the puck loose to Edwards. Back in for Alex Burrows. It's up in the air. Now McKinnon the side. Oh! With the left glove. Are you kidding me? What a save.
Hey, Canucks Nation, Brandon Alston here, play-by-play for the Edmonton Canucks. You've got it locked on the line here, the Vancouver Canucks podcast.
What's up, Canuck fans? Canucks Nation, welcome to the post-game show. Of course, Vancouver Canucks ended up losing to the Tampa Bay Lightning by a final score of 6-2. Unfortunate result, but it was a great night, as it was, of course, the 40th anniversary of Canucks for Kids. Fund a great cause, and obviously there was a lot of donations throughout the night. I do not have an exact number for the donations. I do have a number from, I believe it was an hour ago, but like I said, a great cause for this charity. But let's dive into some of the game. I do want to start off by saying I want to apologize. I did not pay too much attention to the game itself. I've actually had quite the day mentally. So I just wanted to throw that out there for right now. But let's dive into the game. Of course, as I mentioned, the Lightning win by a score of 6-2. Let's go ahead and check out the goals. Let me just remove this and bring this up. And yes, we're actually going to be sharing the screen. It is not an image, so I will actually be able to scroll. So let's go ahead and check this out. Starting with the first period, Jake Guentzel scores his 30th of the season, assisted by Dasus, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and Ryan McDonough at 17 minutes and 37 seconds of the first period. Then moving on to the second period, you had Darren Radish scoring his 18th of the season, assisted by Kucherov and Chiarelli at 49 seconds into the second period. And then you had Yanni Gourde scoring his 9th of the season, assisted by Darren Radish and Holmberg at 4:16 of the second period. That made it 3-0 Tampa Bay. And then you had Nikita Kucherov scoring his 38th of the season, assisted by Chernak and Chiarelli at 5:31 of the second period. That, of course, made it 4-0 Tampa Bay. So things were not looking good for the Canucks, but luckily for us, Liam Ogren would score his 7th of the season, assisted by Brock Besser and Marco Rossi. So once again, both Besser and Rossi continue their point streaks, and they continue to be hot. This goal was at, of course, 12 minutes and 6 seconds of the second period. We move on to the third period, and you had Linus Karlsson scoring his 13th of the season, assisted by Marco Rossi. So Rossi with another multi-point game. Once again, I believe he's up to 3 games now in a row that he's had a multi-point game. This was, of course, at 7 minutes and 4 seconds of the third period. That made it 4-2. And then Anthony Chiarelli would score his 17th of the season, assisted by Hagel and Chernak at 7:36. That made it 5-2 for Tampa Bay. And you had Brandon Hagel scoring his 32nd of the season, assisted by Kucherov and Moser at 10:35 of the third period. And that was what pretty much sealed the deal. Let's take a look at the game stats. Canucks shots on goal were 30-21 in favor of the Lightning. Face-off percentage, Lightning had a 52.6%. Canucks had a 47.4%. So the Lightning were 30 for 57, and the Canucks were 27 for 57. So pretty close on the face-offs. Only 3 penalties in this game. The Lightning went 0 for 1, and so did the Canucks. The Canucks went 0 for 2. Hits were 25-12 in favor of the Canucks. So the Canucks heavily out-hitting the Tampa Bay Lightning in this one. Block shots were 14-6 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Giveaways 16-12, and then the takeaways were 6-5. Looking at the shots per period, the Lightning outshot the Canucks 11-6 in this one. Outshot them 11-4 in the second period, and then the Canucks were able to outshoot the Lightning 11-8 in the third period. Let's take a look at the player stats. I'm so used to the image on here, so I'm still getting used to sharing the screen. But let's take a look at Brock Besser. We have Brock Besser with a point. He was a -1 in this one, 19 minutes and 24 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block, 1 hit. Drew O'Connor, a -1 in this one, 15 minutes and 51 seconds of ice time with 1 hit. Niels Höglander, 14 minutes and 25 seconds of ice time. So it's nice to see Höglander's ice time going up there. Elias Pettersson was a -1, 16 minutes and 10 seconds of ice time with 1 shot on goal. Teddy Bluger was a -3, 15 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time with 1 shot and 3 hits. Atsu Ratu, 13 minutes and 16 seconds of ice time with 6 hits. So Ratu laying the body here tonight. Max Sasson, a -1, 11 minutes and 23 seconds of ice time. Jake DeBrusk, -2, 16 minutes and 55 seconds of ice time with 5 shots. Evander Kane, 11 minutes and 16 seconds of ice time with 1 shot. Liam Ogren had a goal. He was a -1, 14 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time with 1 shot and 1 block. Marco Rossi, as we mentioned, 2 assists, so 2-point night, 17 minutes and 3 seconds of ice time. He had 1 shot on goal. And then you had Linus Karlsson with a goal. He was -2, 15 minutes and 55 seconds of ice time with 2 shots and 1 hit. Moving on to the defensemen, Tom Willander was a -2, 17 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time with 1 shot. Philip Hronek, a -2 as well, 23 minutes and 55 seconds of ice time, 2 shots. Z William, a -1, 21 minutes and 15 seconds of ice time, 1 shot, 1 block, 2 hits. You're probably going to see a lot of minuses for the defensemen, and that's probably has a lot to do with the fact that Tampa Bay had 6 goals in this one. DPD was a -2, 18 minutes and 58 seconds of ice time with 2 shots and 3 hits. Marcus Pettersson, a -1, 17 minutes and 58 seconds, 2 blocks, 1 hit. Victor Mancini, 16 minutes and 41 seconds of ice time, 2 shots, 1 block, and 2 hits. Kevin Lankinen, 24 saves on 30 shots. He did allow 6 goals, so his save percentage was down to .800. Although I will say I did think he played okay. This isn't completely on Lankinen in this one, but there you have it. Those are the stats. As I mentioned earlier, hang on, give me 1 quick second here to stop screen. There, that's better. As I mentioned earlier, I want to apologize. I didn't pay too much attention to this game due to having a bit of a mental, a not so great day mentally, at least just for me anyway. And for those of you wondering why, technically today is a pretty difficult day for me, as it would have been my mom's 62nd birthday today. And today just hits me pretty hard. For those of you that don't know, my mom passed away 2 years ago, or just under 2 years ago. And why this hits me so hard on this day in particular is because 2 years ago on her birthday was the last time I saw her. So it was exactly a month between her birthday and the day she passed away. So that's why it kind of hits me pretty hard. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And that's why I wasn't really paying too much attention to the game, as I had that on my mind. But I do have some notes here. Marco Rossi, as I mentioned already, keeps his point streak going with 2 assists. He's now up to 12 points in his last 8 games. On that Karlsson goal, great hand-eye coordination from Linus Karlsson, able to bat it out of the air and into the net. And then, we talked about Kevin Lankinen and how, he didn't have that great of a game, but he also wasn't that terrible either. He had a potential save of the year candidate, absolutely robbing Brandon Hagel with a beautiful glove save, cross crease. This should have been a surefire goal for Hagel. Hagel should have had 2 goals in this one, but Kevin Lankinen absolutely robbing him of that. And obviously for this game, it was one step forward, one step back for the Canucks, not able to pick up consecutive wins at home, something they've really struggled with this year. They're still only sitting at 8 wins at home, which obviously, is not very good. And obviously you want the Canucks to win at home for the paying customer. Of course, the next game is Saturday versus St. Louis. This is going to be the final game of their homestand before they go back out on the road. I mentioned the Canuck for Kids Fund. Obviously, that went up until midnight. So we have it right here. Let's give it a sec to load. Hang on. There we go. So this image was from an hour ago. Let me actually quickly go look on Twitter and see if it has updated and shown the final amount. No, looks like they haven't updated the final amount yet, but this is how much they had managed to raise for tonight, $328,983. So once again, as I mentioned before, great cause, Canucks for Kids Fund. I was watching the intermissions quite a bit, them talking about, the Canucks for Kids Fund and, all the great that it does. And, the players, going to the children's hospital and hanging out with all the kids there. Obviously they had, I forget his name. Spencer Moore, read the opening lineups. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So once again, a great cause for sure. Let's take a look at some other notes as well. We've got, obviously we found out today that the draft lottery is set. So everybody mark your calendars. May 5th, 2026. Circle that date on your calendar. That is when the draft lottery will be happening. We'll probably be doing a live stream for the draft lottery here on the Line Change. Really all depends on my schedule. But hey, if I have to take the day off so I can do that live stream, I'm going to do it. So wanted to mention that. Also a shout out and thank you to Ryan Ventura for appearing on the podcast the other day. Received a lot of love for that appearance. I had an absolute blast having him on and us talking for 2.5 hours. And it was just great. It was just great talking to him. I feel like I made a brand new friend in Ryan Ventura, as of course him and I have been chatting back and forth for most of the day. I absolutely love his passion and his energy. And of course, I'm very much looking forward to having those beers with him eventually. So yeah, just taking a look at the chat, seeing who's all here. I know Duo was here earlier. Says we'll try to make it, but it's a late show. Props for doing one. Still want to be there. Rain was in here earlier at it says 8:50. Sally won't be making it either. Early work day tomorrow morning. Yeah, I have to get up actually super early myself. So we are going to be keeping it to an hour and 30 minutes, as I do have to get up early, as I finally have my my imaging from my wrist. So I'm finally going to get that done and see, what's going on with my wrist and see, how bad the tendonitis is. I see Simon's in here. Good to see you, Simon. Justin Credible's in here. Absolutely loved your appearance on Headspace Hockey. I caught a lot of it. It was absolutely great. And like I said in that stream, I was torn between those two. I literally could not decide. I actually ended up voting in that poll. Both have really, really good cases. So I see Urban's in here. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. Oh, here's a question from Simon. In your opinion, what was your favorite line combination by Vancouver against Tampa Bay? I mean, it's got to be the bro line. I think, and until we have a line that kind of usurps the bro line, I think it's for every game, it's going to be the bro line. I know, obviously Ogren had that goal tonight. Besser and Rossi both got points, so definitely is the bro line for sure. Prepare Tuesday, in your opinion, when they face it, Vancouver face. I'm not sure what you're trying to ask there, Simon. If you want to rephrase that question, I will gladly answer that for you. Irvin, thoughts and love to you, brother. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, brother. In your opinion, what do you think is going to happen for Vancouver in the draft order? Well, I'm hoping they pick first. Obviously, I really want them to get Gavin McKenna, and obviously, finding out that when the draft lottery is, I know a lot of Canuck fans are probably on pins and needles for that, so definitely want them to pick first. Absolutely. Bobby, good to see you. SGA, good to see you. A little bit of lag, I'm noticing. Sorry, guys. Let me just check some. I'm not sure if G's gonna hop in, so let me send him a message real quick. I know he's had a very busy week this week. Kempner, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so late. I mean, well, I don't want to impede on, Gerald and Urban with their 10 p.m. And then I also don't want to impede on Clay. So that's why it's kind of like a triple header. You got Headspace Hockey at 10 o'clock, Canuck Clay at 11, and then you got me as your, end of the night or early morning as well. But Saturday, we'll be back to our regular timing for sure, with it being a 4 o'clock start. So probably thinking 8:30-ish is probably when we'll have our post game on Saturday. So a lot earlier than this one. Yeah, and I believe this is maybe this may be the first time we've had like back-to-back after darks. So when are we going to club? Anytime, brother. Anytime. You just let me know, and I'm all for it, and I'll be there. I mean, we do have a little thing called the draft coming up soon, so definitely open for anything there, Cam. By the way, I'm glad you were able to get out to another game. I have to apologize for Vancouver for the crappy weather that you had to endure that night. I managed to catch your short in the pouring rain. So I apologize on behalf of, the weather gods and Vancouver for that poor weather that you had to endure going to that game. SGA, like your channel. Thank you very much, SGA. Appreciate that. Oh, are you doing a Nothing is Perfect takeover next week? Nice. I'm very much looking forward to that. Oh, here we go. Simon, are you going to go to that wrestling event that's coming to Vancouver? Because Edge might be coming to Vancouver. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because, yeah, I mentioned before, I was on the fence because I'm not a big AEW guy. But hearing that Adam Copeland, or Cope, as he's called now, is going to be there, is going to be wrestling. I'm still going to have to talk about it with my wife, but I'm definitely more so leaning to going, just because this is probably going to be the last chance I get to see him wrestle, because from my understanding, he's going to be retiring, I think, in the summer or after like All In, I believe. So getting the chance to see him one last time is would be fantastic. I know my wife is a big Edge head, or I guess it's Cope head now, although that doesn't sound all that right. She's a big Edge fan, so I'm pretty sure she would be interested herself as well. Both Canuck games I went to this year, our Canucks scored 5 goals in both games. I need to get season tickets. Absolutely. Kind of very reminiscent of that game you went to, what was it, last year against the Ducks, where they scored 6 goals? Yeah, so you seem to be a good luck charm, Trev. So definitely try and come out here more often for to go to very good games. Is Gerald joining you? I'm not sure. I did message him, waiting to hear back. So, I mean, he did have Headspace earlier, and he did mention on Headspace that he's had a pretty busy week. So we will see. In your opinion, what do you think your predictions are for the next couple of games? Well, I'm hoping we beat St. Louis, because St. Louis has not been that great so far this year. So hopefully we can get a win against St. Louis and kind of end this homestand on a winning note before we go out on the road. As far as other games, I forget who we're playing after St. Louis. I'd have to look at it again. Let me quickly look. So we got the Ducks on Tuesday, the Kings on Thursday, the Flames on Saturday, and then on Monday it's the Golden Knights. Oh, wait. No, I stand corrected. Their homestand is not over yet. This is not the final game of the homestand. Homestand officially ends on Thursday, so I apologize for that. I misspoke. But, I'd like to think we'll beat the Blues, probably lose to the Ducks because the Ducks are actually really good. I kind of want us to beat the Kings just because it's the Kings, and then definitely want us to beat the Flames for sure. Predictions, score predictions for St. Louis. I'm gonna play it safe and be 3-2 Canucks for St. Louis. For the Ducks, I'm gonna say 5-3 Ducks, and then the one after that, which is the Kings, I'm gonna say Clay's favorite score, 4-2 Canucks over the Kings for that one. Isildur, good to see you, by the way. Isildur, bet the over for the rest of the season. My prediction is that we lose a lot of the next 15 games. Like we end up going 10-12. Yeah, I could very well see that for sure. Just double checking the Canucks for Kids, seeing if they've updated that. Excuse me, that number. Let me quickly look. Okay, they haven't up. Well, maybe I'll check Canucks for Kids. Yeah, no, they haven't updated it in 2 hours. So, will we crack 10 home wins? I don't know. I hope so. I mean, we only have to win like 2 more games to do that, and I could very well see us winning at least 2 out of the next 15. Although, I mean, we have like what? How many more games on this homestand? Whoops. Wrong one. on this one. So 3 more games on this homestand. I figure we could win at least maybe 2 of those, hopefully. But I believe we have a lot of home games to end this season. So what's your thoughts on who to draft if we only get 3rd overall? That is very difficult because I know Veerhoff is really good. Chase Reed is kind of, on the up. He's kind of like creeping up on Veerhoff. But I'm not too sure if I would want them to draft a defenseman. If I'm being completely honest, if they end up dropping down to 3rd overall, I'm going to go ahead and say Caleb Malhotra. If they drop down to 3rd and both McKenna and Stenberg are taken, I'm leaning towards Malhotra. Will the Canucks have a 20-goal scorer? Well, I hope so. I mean, Petey is 5 goals away from that. I think he's at 15. How many does DeBrusk have? I think we have a lot of players who are just under 20 goals. Let's see. Crap. Here. This might help. There we go. No, that's not what I want. Here, I'm going to look it up on the computer. Give me 1 second here. But you know what? Can I do it on the phone? Let me see. Here. No. Here. Okay, so all right. Rossi's at 9 goals. Yeah, Pedersen's at 15. Where's Doc? All right, well, here's DeBrusk. He's at 14, so he needs at least 6 more. And honestly, at DeBrusk's rate right now, I could see him not getting to 20. One person I could see potentially getting to 20 is Doc, because Doc is at 16. He only needs 4 more. Kane, maybe. If he goes on a heater, I could maybe see Kane going it. Let me just quickly see how many. I mean, Kane's at 12. So it would be a bit of a stretch. Besser. Yeah, Besser's at 16 as well. So Besser only needs 4 more. So I'm going to say Besser could do it. Petey could do it. O'Connor could do it. And then I'm going to say DeBrusk likely not. Kane likely not as well. So, yeah. Bobby, no, we're not doing open house tonight because I have to leave at a specific time. So. Veerhoff has been projected 3rd all year. Yep. Carolina beat up the Islanders. Oh, no. Don't base your draft off of one hot streak. Fair enough. Fair enough. The Islanders lose. In your opinion, for the remaining home games of Vancouver, is there a specific team that you would want to go to what's left of the season? Is there a are you asking is there a particular game from a Pacific Division team that I'd want to go to? I'm gonna say probably the Ducks. if I had the money, I'd definitely go to the Ducks game if I could, for sure. Just because they have a lot of young players. And actually, the last time I was at a Canucks game where they played the Ducks, they layeth the smack down on them. As I mentioned earlier, they had that 6-goal game where they like set that record. Same game that I met Rev Trev from Kempner Canucks. So Isidore says Seattle all in. LA to see Kopitar. Yeah, that would be a pretty good one too. Not gonna lie. That would be a pretty good one. Okay, Urban says he's gonna turn in. Good night, brother. Later, brother. Good to see you again. I saw the Ducks drafted McQueen, maybe a late season game to see him. Not seeing if there's any more. All right. Let's see if we can get. Oh, McQueen. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, he could maybe get a game in, although I'm not entirely sure, but definitely for sure. Getting a chance to see McQueen, absolutely. Here, let's bring this up. Now I kind of read it. Move that. We don't need that. Let me here. Oh, there. Share screen. Let's take a look at some stats. All right, as I said, we were looking at Besser earlier, 16 goals, 20 assists, 36 points on the season. Like I mentioned also earlier, Besser, after tonight, keeps his point streak going. So you're 2 points against Nashville, assist against Seattle, 3 assists against Florida, and then 1 assist against Tampa. So 4-game point streak for Besser. Let's take a look at Rossi again. Where is it? $27 points on the season, 9 goals, 18 assists. Rossi, as you can see here, 3 points against Nashville, a point against Seattle, 3 points again against Florida, and then 2 points tonight. So as I mentioned, that is now 2 games in a row where he's had multi-point nights. Actually, take a look at the game log. We can see. So really, Rossi started getting hot in this game right here against Carolina, where he had the 2 points. That is when he really started, going. And then, he of course continued that against Chicago, had no points against Winnipeg. And of course, the Canucks got shut out against Ottawa. So no Canuck got any points in that one. And then, as I mentioned, 3 points against Nashville, goal against Seattle, 3 points against Florida, and then 2 against Tampa. So as you can, and again, his ice time's going up since that Carolina game. Yes, he had 16 minutes and 14 seconds in that game against Carolina, 16:23, so a little bit of a jump. Another little bit of a jump. There was 16:57 against Winnipeg, 16:10, so he kind of went down. His ice time went down slightly in that game, and then his ice time goes down by almost 2 minutes against Nashville, but he still manages to get 3 points in that one. Back up to 16:23, and then up to 16:59, so about 17 minutes there. And then he's at just a little over 17 minutes against Tampa Bay there. if the NHL stopped tomorrow and they started the playoffs, what is some of the teams that you would be interested in seeing for the first round of the NHL playoffs for both conferences? I'm gonna have to think about that. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the standings. Why not? Let's bring that up. Let's bring that up right now. All right, so we got. Wait here. Let me check something. I know there's an image. Here, where was this from? Oh no, that's from way back. Watch for no. Yeah, let's see here. Is this it? Okay, here we go. This is it. So we'll share this one. All right. So you got in round one, Colorado and LA, Dallas, Minnesota. That's going to be a real good one. Dallas and Minnesota in the first round. Right now you got Anaheim, Utah. Then you have the Oilers and Golden Knights. Then on the East, you have Buffalo, Boston, Tampa Bay and Montreal, Carolina and Detroit, then Pittsburgh and Columbus. So, I think I'm going to have to go with Dallas, Minnesota as the one that I'd be most interested in. But yeah, to answer your question, Simon, I think I'm going to say definitely Minnesota, Dallas. And of course, I'd be rooting for Dallas. I'm not going to be rooting for Minnesota for obvious reasons. But I do think that is going to be one heck of a series. Same thing with Kings and Colorado, although I think Colorado is going to stomp LA in that one. And then for the East, East is tricky, but I'm going to just go ahead and say Buffalo, Boston is one I'm looking forward to. And of course, I'm going to be rooting for Buffalo. So I'm going to go with Buffalo in the East, at least for one of the brackets. Another one, I'm going to say Columbus. I think Columbus, Pittsburgh is going to be a good one too. I am I'll admit, I'm kind of rooting for Columbus just because of, Garland. I want him to do well and go far in the playoffs. And that's not a knock on Pittsburgh at all. So definitely that one. Carolina, Detroit. Carolina, Detroit's been okay this year. They have the second wild card, but Carolina is a beast. So I would not bet against Carolina for sure. Definitely would not bet against them. So G will be joining us hopefully in a few minutes. So that is awesome. We'll have Gerald joining us. Yeah. So that's if the playoffs started today. I'm not sure how. I'm assuming this is as accurate as it can be as of today, but I'm again not entirely sure. But I just Googled it, so skated against Carolina, got some confidence. No looking back now for Rossi. Sure, can get 20. Yeah, it would be a bit of a stretch for Rossi to hit 20, especially with 14 games left in the season. If he had started this streak say in January, or maybe prior to the Olympic break, I could definitely see Rossi hitting 20 for sure. Bench DeBrusque and double shift Rossi. Boston's a Terrier. Buffalo are Buffaloes. It's going to be fun. I see Carolina red. But yeah, for those of you just tuning in, I know once again we are after dark. It's super late. Thank you to those that are here. It's of course very appreciated, very much appreciated. We did already go through some of the game already. I kind of kept it kind of short, as I mentioned earlier. I wasn't paying too much attention to the game itself for obvious reasons, as I mentioned earlier. But yeah, just to recap a little bit, today's a difficult day for me. And when I say today, I mean like today isn't Friday, March 20th. Also, on that note, while I remember, I'm not sure if he's watching this, but I'm sure someone will probably send this his way. But I want to wish a very happy birthday to Coach Rob. As it is officially, as of 40 minutes ago, his birthday. And like I mentioned, he shares a birthday with my mom. So happy birthday, Coach Rob. Get rid of that. I guess we can talk a little bit about something else. I know the other day we kind of talked about, Jack Hughes and how he was being a little baby, wanting the golden goal puck, and the Hockey Hall of Fame basically said, nope, you're not going to get it. And then actually we saw I believe it was today, Jack Hughes kind of walked back his comments in his own way. So that happened today, kind of like walked it back, but didn't exactly take accountability for what he said either. Just kind of, said it was, crazy, but it is what it is. So sadly can't see much for Canada CBC. For the like watching the games, and no hockey in May unless Valor's the gym. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess playoff hockey, at least on weekends or Saturdays, it's I guess CBC for the playoffs. I believe I'm pretty sure Sportsnet's going to get some of the games for the playoffs this year. So.
Yo.
And boom, he does it. And boom, he does it.
Sorry.
He just appears.
I totally forgot. I apologize. I was about to go to bed, and then I looked at my phone. I was like, damn it. I totally forgot I had to do this. Because, yeah, after our show, we went on Clay's. And then once Clay was done, I was just like, oh, I'm so tired. I didn't really sleep last night. Wasn't really thinking. So, thank you for whoever is still here. You got a new subscriber. That's awesome. 1604.
Yeah, 1604. Yeah, I have to update that manually every time. So, but it's no big
what's new? How are you? I haven't seen you in a few days. Excuse me. And I'm sorry I missed the last one.
That's all good, man. That's all good. I was able to hold down the fort. But as I kind of mentioned earlier, I already mentioned to everybody that I didn't pay too much attention to the game. Like I had it on, and it's not because of the score. I just I know what today is for me. So
yeah.
That's been on my mind. So.
Well, you know what? We can talk about it on Headspace. It's part of hockey. It's part of life. It's part of everyone's mental health. I think it's very healthy to talk about things like that, because a lot of people don't realize the effects that it excuse me, that it might have. But whatever you're comfortable about talking, whatever you want to talk about, we're here for you. Because not a lot of, especially men in general, I think even Trevor Linden was talking about it on After Hours, how he's part of the men's health, that association, I think. And Kevin BX is part of it. And it's just, men don't know how to express themselves. And I don't know, when they're playing hockey, they don't really think about it. But at the same time, when the career is done, they retire, then it creeps back and bites them. So it's best to sort of talk about your emotions, even though men are manly, have their egos and stuff. But I think you need to put that aside for your own mental health, and also for your family's sake.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
and I'll be completely honest. I'm a very emotional person too. It doesn't take a whole lot for me to get emotional, especially with my mom. So
yeah, I mean, I can't say I understand what you're going through, but I know when I lost my grandpa, I was pretty devastated too. So it's I mean, I still kind of am, but it's sometimes everyone says it takes time. But I think, like me personally, I have a therapist that I talk to, so it's healthy to talk about stuff like that, just to get yourself through it.
Yeah. And
anyways, back to hockey.
That's what's so great about this community as well.
Yeah, I mean, without Clay, I don't think any of us would have been friends, or none of us would have met. Like you, Irvin, Justin, Fangirl. I'm not gonna say her actual name because apparently she doesn't want people to know. Shannon, Coach Rob. Funny that Coach Rob doesn't know me though. He was on Clay's stream and he's like, yeah, Irvin's show and that other guy. I was like, okay, that's great. Like, really? And also Carol. We haven't seen Carol in a while, but yeah. It's great to. Oh, also Taylor. Who else is over there? Like Rosie. So Rosie, I mean, anyone that needs to talk, we're here. Headspace Hockey is, aside from we say therapy for hockey. It's also just therapy in general, like whatever we can help provide. Almost forgot Harry. Harry's in the house. He just came and he's part of the community also. So yeah, I love this community, and we can't forget like some of the other people like Russell, Witt. But yeah. So
sorry
you went
to be
through.
A bit of a downer with that.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, I had some notes for the game, but I just wanted to make sure I, had that out there so people knew and understood why this post game I wasn't as, didn't have as much to say about the game itself. But I do have some things that I mentioned earlier. Rossi keeping his point streak going, another 2-point game for him. I said earlier, he's up to now 12 points in his last 8 games. So he's really been on fire as of late. Him and Besser. I actually did a video on those two and their chemistry earlier today. If you guys want to check that out, it's here on the channel.
Was it the bro video?
It was the...
I saw one that just said bro. It just said bro.
Oh, no. No, that wasn't
one?
it.
Okay.
No. I called it Killer Combo was the thumbnail title.
Okay. Did you watch the game at all? Like any parts of it?
I had it on, and I was kind of like watching it and doing some things at the same time. So I did see some things. I did, which I mentioned earlier, that Lankinen glove save on Hagel. Wow, like he robbed him there.
How about the other goals?
Yeah.
How about the other 4 or 5 goals?
Yeah.
Or sorry,
true,
6.
True.
He wasn't like, I mean, he had like glimpses that were good, but in general, like it was that typical Lankinen game again.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, he did end up letting in 6 goals, but that one save though was. And then, funny enough, after he makes that save, he lets in a couple more goals, which is kind of.
No, what really sucked was, I think, the Canucks' second goal, the Karlsson goal. After that goal, immediately it was under 30 seconds. The Lightning came back. Then it was 5-2, and then it was 6-2. Actually, no, it was 4-2 at that point. Right? I think. I have to double check. So I'm so out of it. I've already closed everything. But anyways, that goal, it sucked because, I mean, I'll tell you what I liked about it first. I don't know if you have that in your notes, but it was, I think just before that, the lines were juggled again. So it was another grab bag, or it was just late, shifts. Like the shift change was done late. So at one point it was Ogren, Petey, and Besser on one line. And there was a glimmer like of that old Besser Petey combo, like the old Lotto line kind of feel. And they almost got a goal too. And then right after that, line change, and then Kane got on, and he almost like knocked down Hronek. I don't know if you saw that, but I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
I don't think I caught that one.
Like that is this. Just get him in the 1,000 games, and let's just call it a day. Because I mean, he was technically playing 4th line minutes anyways, which I still think like the deployment wasn't great, because I think he was third line or 4th line. I can't remember. I think he was playing right wing to start the game. And that was with Ratu and Sasson. No. Was it Ratu and Sasson? Or no, Ratu and Sasson. Because Bluger's 3rd line, and he had Hoglander and Jake DeBrusk. No. Sorry. Jake DeBrusk and Linus Karlsson. And then it was supposed to be Hoglander with Ratu and Kane. Are you looking up the lines?
Yeah, Kane was with Ratu and Hoglander.
Yeah, but that was like changed again, because at some point it was Hoglander, Petey, and Doc. And then it was just really odd. And then DeBrusk, Bluger, and Karlsson. And then somehow it was Sasson, Ratu, and Kane. And then it was Sasson, Ratu, and Doc. No, Karlsson. Anyways, like it was such a jumble in the third. It was just really, really weird. Like I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know if you saw our Headspace live today. And we were talking about
I saw quite a bit of it. Yeah.
And Foot, it's just I understand you're a rookie coach, and you know what? I'm not for firing him. I let Irvin pick because I got to pick last week, so I had to sort of defend the side of firing Foot. But I made those arguments, and they're legit arguments, even though I don't think he should be fired. But at the same time, like, it's things like this that piss me off. The just constant line swapping and throwing shit in the blender, and but even in the blender, they don't put out that Swedish touch line. Come on, man. Like, any sort of Swedish touch would work. Like, it could be Ogren, PD, and like Carlson. Could be Hoglander, PD, Carlson. Could be like anything, right? But the yeah, that goal that we were actually talking about, that, I'm sorry, I totally rambled onto something else, it was Ogren, Rossi with Carlson. That actually looks pretty good because they all have speed, whereas Besser is not as fast, right? So that's how that goal happened. I don't know if you did the goal breakdowns, but
I
think
I didn't do the visualizer, but I did the breakdown of the goals.
So what happened was, I think it was Rossi came down with the puck. He threw it down to the end, and Ogren went and digged it up on the end at the end boards, and then threw it back out to Rossi. Rossi shot it, and then it deflected, went up, and Carlson did this like sort of baseball bat in the like, it was great hand-eye coordination. So, I mean, this line looked pretty good. It could be something that could be considered in the future. And with PD and Besser having that sort of old chemistry, I mean, they've tried it in games when Tocchet was still around and it never worked. So maybe with a different system, it might work. And I could definitely see the 92, 93, 94, we can call it the 90s line. Because you got Ogren, Rossi, and Carlson. And then you would have maybe Hoglander, PD, and Besser. I could see something like that going. And
I was going to go with Roke. Doc is the name. Roke.
Roke?
R-O-K, Roke. Or you can go Crow with a K, like K-R-O, Crow, the Crow line.
Okay. Whatever, but that definitely deserves a look, I would say. Carlson played very well. I mean, from what I saw in the third, because I watched the second and I was like, yeah, this is like, by the time it was 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, by the time it was 4-0, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I don't really want to watch this. And but by the third, I started watching a little bit more. So, but yeah, those three together could create something. Like, it could be. I don't know how do you see Rossi as a center? Do you see him as like a 2C or a 3C?
Well, I think I see him as a 2C for now. I mean, with the way he's been playing lately, and depending on what they decide to do with PD. Obviously, if they end up trading PD, that inserts Rossi as he basically becomes your 1C, unless you get like a bona fide 1C in a PD trade, which I'm not sure if they will be able to because of his contract. But I definitely for now see him as a definite bona fide 2C for sure.
At this point right now, like especially last game, I would say I don't think they're trading PD. I don't think there's. I mean, even though Carolina was sniffing around, I think LA was at a point. The time's passed. Like, if it was supposed to be done, it would have been done at trade deadline. Like, Kings needed a center, especially when Fiala went down in the Olympics. And with Carolina, I still don't understand why they want him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what would come back with the PD trade? Are they going to run it again and do like Kokanemi, and they can't do Nashis. Nashis is gone. So it'd be Kokanemi and like a pick
Stankoven,
and that's it.
maybe Stankoven.
Yeah, I don't think Carolina would give up Stankoven.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. I wouldn't give him up either.
Like, they just got him from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're gonna trade him away right away. So but I mean the high points of this game is that Hogs was back in the lineup. Ratu is still playing in the lineup, which is good. Yeah, I mean, it's with exception of Kane, which he wasn't doing much. I mean, he got a goal, or was it 2 goals? I think it was 1 goal last game, or was the game before? I can't even remember. It's just everything seems like a blur right now.
A goal. Yeah, I think it was a goal.
No, he got a goal in the lost against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, was it Seattle? Yeah, because it was Seattle, Florida, and then Tampa, right? So it was Seattle. Actually, no, because I was at the Seattle game. So, anyways, it's just, yeah, I'm still kind of pissed, but it is what it is. Like, Kane is still around. So he should have been traded, should have gotten an asset. I don't really give a like, even for a 6th round, 7th round, I like, that would have been fine. It would have been perfectly fine. And I apologize right now.
He got a goal against Seattle.
Yeah. So, anyways.
And then he had 1 assist against Florida.
Yeah, it's good that they finally play him on the 4th line. You know, get your 1,000 game,
Mm-hmm.
and
I mean, you're still in the lineup. You're playing 4th line minutes, and you're not impeding on Höglander.
Yeah, because I mean, the only issue right now is that Curtis Douglas is sitting out, can't be sent down to Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have anyone here that they can send to Abbey, I think, because I think Sasson already passed I think it was like 39 games or 31 games, and he can't go back.
Mm-hmm. And he's
so at this point right now, it's like, yeah. So it is what it is. We'll have to just wait until the end of the season and see what happens at the draft. And by the way, if you guys don't know, the draft lottery is on May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys didn't hear, and hopefully the Canucks get some sort of luck. But if they end up dropping to 3rd, I would strongly want them to trade down, because anything 3 to like 10 is pretty much like a mixed bag. And if you have teams in 3 to 6, whatever it is, that are looking, teams are looking for defensemen and not forwards, then if I were the Canucks, I would trade down and get Maholtra and get an extra, maybe 2nd round or 3rd round, whatever it is. It could be I think it could potentially be a 2nd round, and then you package your and then you also trade down your Minnesota pick to the bottom of the 1st, or for a 2nd and and a prospect of some sort. Then you can draft the Ruck brothers, the Ruck twins.
Mm-hmm.
Then ideally you would get Maholtra, Ruck twins, and extra picks. But obviously right now everyone's tanking for McKenna, and I think if they don't get McKenna or even Stenberg, it would be a bitch.
Yeah.
But St. Louis is sniffing right now, right? and St. Louis has Otto, his brother. So that would be ideal. Like if St. Louis somehow got the second round pick or the second pick and got Stenberg, then the brothers reunite, kind of like what's happening in Minnesota right now. Right? So yeah, I don't know. Like, do you have any? Sorry, I've been rambling again. Did you have any notes for the game that you had wrote down?
I had a little bit that I went over. But I'm glad you brought up the draft, because actually someone asked me earlier, if we do drop down to third, who would you pick? And I basically said, well, if both Stenberg and McKenna are off the table and, we had that third overall pick, I probably would go with Malhotra with the third overall.
It's too high, though.
It's
way too high.
Well, I think he's going to get a potentially top 5, but yeah, it would be a little too high for Malhotra, but I'm just not really convinced about Virov, and that's just me.
Virov has dropped a little bit.
Yeah.
But Virov is also a defenseman, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is
Reed. We don't really need another defenseman right now, like unless Mancini doesn't really pan out. I mean, he played well tonight too. I mean, there was a play in the third that he went almost like zone to zone. He almost went like end to end, got a shot off. So yeah, this is the perfect time to make these, take these risks, make mistakes, learn from them. Love it. And then you have DPD. You also have Willander. Willander is, fitting in perfectly right now for this team tank. And you still have Marcus Pettersson for another 5 years. Hronik for, I think, another 5 or 6. And then Buum. So yeah, like D-wise, I think, yeah, you would need, because you also have, was it Minio down there?
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, yeah, unless it's DuPont, then yeah. I wouldn't draft Verhoff. And yeah, Stevie is right too. We have Kudratsov, who definitely deserves a look near the end of the season. So yeah, it's as long as they can get some sort of forward depth, I think that would be great. Someone that I'm interested in seeing is like Berard. I don't know if he'll ever get a look. I think he's really close to being a AHL lifer. And it's a shame because that like the AHL All-Star game, that move was sick. It was so sick. And it's a shame because I don't know if he can come up to the big league, big club and play. So it would definitely be Malhotra is someone that I would target. But if you're able to gain an extra pick of some sort and use that as leverage to somehow get the Ruck twins, then that would make the most sense. But obviously, we're all hoping for the first or at least the second. Like, say if let's talk hypothetical right now. Let's say the Canucks got the second overall, and whoever got the first overall pick ended up getting McKenna. Then whoever wants Stenberg, like say St. Louis, then you would trade St. Louis that pick, or you trade Stenberg over and you just milk that and just get whatever picks that St. Louis has, tack on an extra or whatever, prospects, and then you go and get Malhotra. And then the Minnesota pick, I would trade down also closer to the bottom of the first round to whoever's down there. It would be like Ottawa, or it would be, I don't know, because Ottawa is the 32nd pick now. And then it'd be what, like one of the top teams, like Colorado, I don't know, Colorado, Vegas, something like that. And you get it so close that you can draft both the Ruck Twins at the same time, and you get another pick in the second. Then you, this would be forming picks like how Justin Credible and also Irvin is saying. Then you get extra picks. Yeah. So like Stevie's saying, if it's fourth, then trade down to fourth, get Malhotra, and then you get an extra pick on top of that. Why not? Right? Because you're not going to draft them third. And if you know the team that you're trading to is definitely not going to draft Malhotra, and they want to move up to get whoever. So this is definitely not the fifth or fourth pick. It'd probably be someone down in fifth, sixth, seventh. And if you know those two teams ahead of that pick is not going for a forward, then you're good to go. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
But yes, to answer your question, Isildur, yes, there was a decision. Ottawa got their pick back. So they're now picking 32nd. They cannot trade it, and they cannot move up or down in this draft. They're stuck with the 32nd pick, which means we get the 33rd pick, which I believe is the first pick in the second round.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They can't trade up or down. But if they have some sort of agreement with like Canucks, and they'll say, okay, we're going to draft this person and we'll trade this person immediately. They can do that. They just can't trade the pick. They can trade the player who they pick. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. They just can't trade the pick up or down. They can draft the player and immediately trade the player. So if, let's say somehow, we have the 33rd, then you pick the Ruck Twins 32nd and 33rd. Why not? Just draft them higher.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Isildur is asking about the lottery. They can't win the lottery. That was part of the agreement there, is that they cannot win the lottery. Because obviously, with the lottery, if they do get picked, they obviously will do a redraw. And apparently if there's a redraw, that hurts our chances even more if there's a redraw.
Because the best they can do is whoever's 31st can move up 10 spots to 21st. That would be fine. Mm-hmm. Because the second draw would pretty much the percentage, the possibility of getting the first overall is higher for the Canucks if it's something like that.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Steve. That scares me. That scares me.
Yeah. See, the best scenario is get McKenna and the Ruck Twins together.
Part of me thinks Calgary might take a look at Malhotra. I don't know why. I just got this feeling in my gut that Calgary's gonna snag him.
No, the Flames need defensemen for sure. But if they're like Jim Benning, I can't even remember the GM's name anymore. I just remember he played for the Flames. But anyways, that GM, is it Craig Conroy? Yeah, Conroy, right?
Yeah, Craig Conroy, yeah.
If he needs defensemen now because they only have Perek that just joined the team, that just moved up to the big club. You traded away Weegar, you traded away Anderson. You need some sort of D that moves up. So if Verhoff is there and Calgary is picking third or fourth, they will get Verhoff because Verhoff has played with Parekh, and I'm pretty sure they will draft him over Malhotra. So with that said, then if you know that's the scenario, then the Canucks can definitely move down. But yes, Isidore, yeah, they do need another center for Kadri. And then they have Coleman, who's also a center, but he's getting kind of old. So,
and yeah, he might be on his way out too. I know they were trying to trade him at the deadline.
But yeah, ideally, if they can get McKenna and the Ruck twins, and then you send all three of them to Abbey for a stint, and then bring them up the year after or halfway through the season, that'd be ideal. Because I think they need some reps. And just to build some sort of chemistry, like they could be McKenna and the Ruck twins can be top line in Abbey. Play top line minutes, get reps, then come up to the big club. And hopefully by then it's to a point where the Canucks aren't making the playoffs and they can have a stab at DuPont. Then perfect. You like that speeds up the whole process of the rebuild. Like super like turbo speed. Because they don't need them right away. But you also don't want to be drafting players like at like how the Canucks drafted Podkolzin, and he was stuck in the KHL for 2 years, and then he came over. Was treated like shit in the KHL, and then he comes to Vancouver and he still doesn't really get to flourish or get good looks. Even though he's like one of the most liked players and he has good work ethic, they gave him up. So yeah. But the other scenario would also be whoever that is on the club that doesn't work out. Like it could be, I'd be open. I don't want to lose Hogs like Hoglander, like how we lost Podkolzin. But if we can package Hoglander to move up or down in the draft, I'd be okay with that. As long as you get like Ruck twins.
Mm-hmm.
Like these kids are like crazy, man. They're over 100 points, man.
Yeah, I know at least one of them hit over 100. I think one of them was, last I looked, it's been a couple days. One of them was still stuck on 99, but one of them has already passed 100 points. And they only have like
the one
a
that's
few games
passed,
left in their season.
The one that's passed is actually the center. Like the whoever, I don't know the names of the brothers, but it's the centerman that's higher on assists. The goal scorer winger brother is projected higher because he's a goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that's projected in the second round, I think, is starting to move up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I love what Stevie says here on my take now. Canucks got 1, Chicago got 2, and Calgary got 3. And Calgary picks Albert Smits. Who the F is that? He's a high. I've seen his name around. Like I haven't looked into his name, but I've seen his name. Apparently, he's a pretty high prospect. So, Stevie also mentions. By the way, good to see you, Stevie. He says Coots and the Ruck twins would be good too.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I can definitely see that happening.
Although, well, Coots might have to move to the wing then, because one of the Ruck twins is a center, and so is Coots. They could easily do that. Have Coots on the left side.
So this is odd because Tynan Lawrence is actually, this is the NHL. This is the NHL. Here, I'll share this. Give me a second. So McKenna is still first. Verhoff. Where the hell is? Oh, this is North American. So Gavin McKenna's first. International, definitely.
Where's Stenberg?
Huh? That's so odd.
Is Stenberg not even on that list anymore? Wow.
He's not. STN, right? That's so odd. Okay. Okay, give me a second.
Anyway, while you're looking at that, I'm just going to answer this for Isildur. Both are Cougars. Yeah, they both play for Medicine Hat Tigers. We should say not Cougars. Yeah, they play on the same team as that McKenna was on last year.
That's so odd. Anyways, but yeah, Malhotra is right now fifth on the NHL prospects ranking. So, like as you can see right here, aside from McKenna and also Stenberg, for some reason he's not here. Defenseman.
Yeah.
Malhotra, another defenseman, Rudolph, then a center, left wing. Okay, but there's a lot of defensemen in the top.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Like
I'd say top 10. There's a lot of defensemen. So if you can somehow move down, let's say if you got third and you move down to fifth, and you know all these other teams are actually going for the defenseman, then that makes sense, right? Even sixth. Because pretty much from 3 to, let's say 3 to 8, 3 to 10, like all these players, it's, a mixed bag. You don't know what the actual ceiling potential is going to be. But for McKenna and I guess even Verhoff and Stenberg, you know it's going to be, the ceilings are going to be a bit higher. Yeah, there's the person that we're talking about.
There's Stenberg.
Yeah. So international skaters, Stenberg, Smits, which is the defenseman that who was it? Was it
Stevie?
Was it Stevie that was saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Stevie was like, who the F is this? Well, apparently he's a German.
He's a German. Vigo, I'd be interested in Vigo too. Mm-hmm. But he's just a little smaller than, like, it'd be another Rossi.
Yeah, right? Rossi / Garland. Just as a center, though.
But Vigo, I watched him play in the juniors, and he was pretty good. But his brother actually plays for Chicago, I think. So Chicago might be sniffing for that too.
I thought we had his brother Wilson. We have him in our system.
Oh, do we? Actually, yeah, we do.
We have Wilson.
Chicago has his teammate, who's that new prospect that's just coming up to get reps. Anyways, doesn't matter. So all in all, I would say if for some odd reason they're down to third, I would trade down, get Malhotra. Like Malhotra's fifth on the North American. So on the international side, you still have Stenberg, Smits, like all these other players. So definitely there is room for the Canucks to get Malhotra. I would say between maybe the 5th to 8th spot. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right, why don't I do my sponsor, as I wanted to keep this short, as I have to get up in about less than 7 hours. So I finally have my imaging appointment for my wrist. Finally getting that done. So I'll do my sponsor read, and then we'll close out. We'll do an early one tonight. As I'll admit that that one with Ryan Ventura the other night took a lot out of me. That was like 2.5 hours.
I was surprised, man. It was over awesome 2.5 hours. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that was a guest, having like an actual like guest on. I was like, yeah, I don't know if you saw it during the stream. I even said to him, I was like, you just let me know when you're done, when you have to go. And he's like, oh no, we're good. So yeah, but no, I had I know I mentioned it earlier before you came on, but I absolutely loved that one. Probably one of my favorite interviews I've done yet, and I've done some pretty good ones, but this one definitely was one of my favorites for sure. Him and I have been chatting for most of actually I should say throughout the day. Him and I were shooting messages back and forth. So yeah, he's a great guy. Absolutely loved his passion, his energy, the fact that we like a lot of things. So I jokingly said earlier, I think I found myself another new friend with Ryan Ventura. So
no, I love how passionate he was when he was talking about Pacific Coliseum and how it was just I love that.
Mm-hmm. And then his little Canucks promo that I clipped into a short with the shades on. I thought that was great. But I did bring up, well, we'll see, because I'm not sure how many more games Abby has left in the season. I know it's not much, but I brought up
how
to
about
him.
You do your read, and I'll go look that up.
All right. Well, I basically brought up to him, maybe trying to go out to Abby to catch a game before the end of the season, and then maybe hooking up with Brandon Astle while we're out there.
Nice.
So I mentioned that to him. But
dude, go up to the booth. Go up to the booth and see Astle.
But yeah, I'm not sure if you saw Brandon actually popped into the stream last night, like at the very end too. And Ryan kind of lost his mind a little bit. He was like, whoa! But I'll do a sponsor read, and let me look at bring up the lines for today.
So just so you here, here.
Oh, do you got it? Only
no, I don't have.
Only 5 games.
I don't have the.
Today.
Okay, so Abby has. Today's the 19th, right? No, 18th. So
20th.
There's. Let's see, home games.
2. So 4 more games.
2. No. There's
at least
April.
In March. Yeah, at least in March.
So 2 in April. Sorry, 2 in March, home games. And that's 3, 4. 4 more home games. They finish it off on the road. So the last home game is April 4th.
Okay.
And now
so that's a pretty that's a tight window.
Yeah, not much time. So DraftKings betting odds for tomorrow. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the slate. You can see all the odds here. There's not a lot it's not a lot of value. Like all these, maybe the Caps, because they're still sort of fighting for a playoff spot. So is Jersey. So this one probably, I don't know. It might be a tie, but I would probably go take the over on the 5.5. And then let's see how much that is. Let's see, $10. $10 gets you 17. I think that's a safe bet. If not, let's see here. Probably just that one. I'm really too tired to look at this. Let's see one more. Let's see here. There's no points. Just that 5.5. It would be this game right here. Jersey and Washington Capitals over 5.5. If you can find one that's actually over 4.5, I'd probably take that instead. If there's an alternate line, there is not. So I'd take the 5.5. So 10 gets you 17. There you go.
All right. Just a reminder, this post-game show is a presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook. And this post-game show is actually sponsored by DraftKings, which is, of course, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of both DraftKings Sportsbook as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at thehockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. All right.
That's your closing. Isn't that your closing?
Well, I guess it's part of it. Well, it's two different videos. I just play back to back.
There's some questions that I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we can get to those for sure. I do want to mention.
Okay,
just for an update for those. This is mainly for Duo, but we're at 2,620 watch hours, so less than 400 watch hours to go. So we're on watch hour watch.
Nice.
So I could see me hitting
get
it.
People get.
Hopefully, maybe the end of April.
Everyone go rewatch Tyler's video. Just if you're going to sleep, just put it on and just let it run.
Just let it play on repeat.
The Bjork brothers would be cool. Yes, I definitely agree with that. Isildur, this one. No, not this one. Yes, this one. Light, but yeah, tearing it up. Did they play with McKenna? Yes. They played on a line together. He played on a line together with them when he had the year in Medicine Hat, the Tigers, which, funny enough, Trevor Linden also played.
129-point season. That 129-point season for McKenna. Yeah.
And then McKenna went down the college route. So, I mean, it's definitely a different animal. I think Linden wanted him to stay in Medicine Hat, but McKenna's playing with men down in pretty much down in the NCAA. So it's definitely a better development route, I would say. But it would be nice to get them, if you can get the Twins and McKenna at the draft, and then throw them in Abby, get them some reps, build that chemistry again, let them play top line minutes, and then get Maholtra to help develop them. And yeah, you'll have them mid-season, maybe end of the season. And hopefully the Canucks get to draft high again and get DuPont, and we're all set. So that's the hope I'm trying to sell you right now.
Yeah. McKenna doing well in Penn State, my wife's alma mater. Sam went to Penn State.
Did you say Sam went to Penn State?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's I don't even think she knows that. Well, I don't think she really knows much about McKenna, and B, I don't think she even knows that he's going to Penn State right now. But I'm sure I'll probably mention it to her, and she'll be like, "Hey, that's where I went to college." Memorial Cup in Kelowna. Who's got tickets? Not me, but I've actually never been to a Memorial Cup. Maybe next time they actually have it in Vancouver, maybe I might actually look into it. We'll see.
It's been a long time since Vancouver's done one.
Yeah.
Just an update. So the next game is in not a couple of days. It'd be tomorrow because it's already Friday right now. I'm not going to be able to do the post game because I'm actually going to the game, and it's Saturday night. I'm not going to rush home and do it because I'm going to be going to the game with a friend and probably just going to hang out afterwards. And so, yeah, I won't be at the post game. And then I was talking to Irvin. We didn't get a chance to say it on Headspace, but we might be moving the show to Friday next week instead of Thursday because I will be going to that game on Thursday against the LA Kings. And the reason why I might not be able to rush it is because I didn't even say it on my channel, but I'll tell you guys, I won a contest. So Clay and Irvin know this. So I won a contest, and it's the Canucks game day experience or some sort of experience. I can't remember what it was. So what that entails is I actually go to the arena at 10 in the morning. And by the time I'm done, it's going to be the game's probably going to end at 9:30. And Tyler probably knows, I stay in the arena for a bit afterwards. And plus I'm probably going to try to get some content inside the arena. So it's probably going to be 10 to 10. So it's going to be a good 12 hours over at Rogers. So I'll get to see, hopefully, the Canucks morning skate, the Kings morning skate, and then I'm going to be lacing it up and playing a game with the alum at Rogers Arena. Tyler, you're frozen.
Whoa. Which contest was this? Is this that is this that budget breaker muffler one that I've been seeing
no, I don't. No, I think it's Molson. I can't remember. But
Molson.
yeah, I got an email like on Sunday or Monday. I can't remember. And they're just like, congratulations, you won that. I was like, what? And I looked through it. And I don't have any hockey gear. So I've been asking people if I can borrow it, but it's kind of gross because people like they've probably been wearing it for years. So I'm gonna have to go buy some secondhand. Like obviously I'm gonna have to buy like a cup that's new, like mouth guard that's new. I'm gonna be able to, I think, borrow a helmet, a pair of gloves, but I'll still need all the shoulder pads and all that stuff. So I need to do that on Monday. But yeah, after the practices, we're gonna dress in the visitors' locker room and then go on the ice and play with. I don't know who's gonna be there, but apparently Vancouver alumni. So it's gonna be 3 periods, 10-minute period, so it's only half an hour. And then after that, we go to Park for lunch with the alumni. And then we just hang out a little bit at the casino and then head back over to Rogers. And we'll be heading up to Club 500 where Rain was a couple of weeks ago. And we'll be watching the game. And then that's the whole day. Yeah. And apparently they're going to be giving us, I don't know, because I replied them a little late. So I don't know if I'll get it personalized, but they're giving us actual jerseys with our names, like a number that we choose, personalized, customized. But I don't know if because I replied them a little late. I told them that I might not be able to because I don't know if I can grab the equipment. But yeah, they ended up still giving me the spot. They're going to give me a jersey, and we're talking about if it doesn't make it in time to be made, then they'll do it afterwards. So I'll still get a authentic, jersey. So that's the experience. So I'm super excited for it. That's in 6 days, less than a week. And God, I haven't skated in a whole year. So I don't know, actually more than a year. And I'm just a little, I'm quite nervous, but I'm looking forward to the experience. So that's why the Headspace show next week might not be on Thursday. I talked to Irvin. I'm probably going to move it to Friday. And then I'll tell you guys all about it then.
Awesome. Man, I am so happy for you. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I know they've had a few contests like entries like the last few days. I'll admit I've entered into both of those contests. So, fingers crossed, toes crossed. But no, that's fucking awesome, dude. I'm so happy for you. You're gonna have to tell me all about it when you're done. You're gonna have to tell me all about it when you're done.
Yeah, we'll do it on the stream. But it's like when do you get a chance to skate onto the ice at Rogers Arena, play with the alum? I hope the Sedins are going to be there, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Kirk McLean, maybe Babbage. I met Babbage because his old house is actually like a couple blocks from me. I went to high school, elementary with his neighbors, so that's why I knew him. And the last time I saw him at the season ticket member meet and greet, where I met Quinn Hughes a couple of days before he was traded, got him to sign the jersey and everything. I talked to Dave Babbage before I left, and he's just like, "Oh yeah." Like, I'm not gonna tell you what street, but yeah, he's ever since moved away from North Van and somewhere else. So hopefully I get to see him again, but I'll definitely tell you guys about the experience. And holy crap, Swerve and Irvin is here.
I thought you were going out for the night, Swerve. And apparently Stevie says
I thought he needs to get up.
My customized stick. Yeah, apparently Stevie's.
Are you sure, man? His stick. I'm going to reach out to you, brother. I'll message you later. Or I'll message you tomorrow about that. Yeah, because it's just, I was looking at equipment. It's so expensive and there's no rentals in Vancouver. So I managed to talk to one store and they said I could probably get it for a few hundred for a whole set. And then I'll probably end up just keeping the skates and then selling the other stuff as used again. Because I'm only going to be using for like 30 minutes. So maybe I'll sell it cheap to Irvin or even my buddy John. We'll see.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll start playing with Irvin and we'll play beer league.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Apparently Irvin says he can't sleep.
Bro, you got to get up in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Go get some sleep, man.
Yeah, definitely do that. I'm really glad that I'm finally getting my imaging done, even though it's been like 3 weeks. But I literally booked this 3 weeks ago, and that was the only spot they had available. And I wasn't going to go to the hospital and wait hours in the waiting room before getting my imaging done. At least with this, I can get it, done, boom, boom, done, all good. So, but yeah, we'll end it there. At least I'll be back for the post game on Saturday. I mentioned earlier it is a 4:00 game start, so it won't be an after dark post game. It'll probably be around 8, maybe 8:30. I'm eyeing right now. I'm actually going to schedule it right after we're done here. So be on the look out for that. Again, if you guys haven't checked out my interview with Ryan Ventura, my 2.5-hour conversation, I highly recommend checking it out. And as like he said on social media, just throw it on it in the background and just enjoy the conversation. So again,
just go to sleep and have it playing, and then that's it.
Yeah. And then I also get the watch hours too. So, but again, I gave him a shout out earlier. I'm going to give him another shout out. Ryan Ventura, one heck of a guy. Awesome. As I mentioned in that video, he made his acting debut with The Rock. Like, how many people can say that they did that? That is so cool. And, him talking about that
at the Pacific Coliseum.
At the Pacific Coliseum in the Canucks dressing room. Too. That is where he shot his scenes. So really cool stuff. Once again, you guys can check that video out on the channel. But I'm Tyler. He's Gerald. This has been the post-game show. Once again, Gerald, thanks for popping on. I know you were extremely tired and had a busy week. I really appreciate it. And of course, it was, good to see you again, as always. Once again, I'm so freaking happy for you for this experience next week. I'd be lying if I wasn't a little jealous too. So I got to throw. I mean, who wouldn't be jealous of something like that?
Yeah, it's so crazy. But yeah. I'm gonna plug again. If you guys weren't there tonight, we actually got almost like double the amount of viewers than we usually do tonight, which was odd. We ran over almost an hour and a half, and Swerve and Irvin was willing to help it out. So yeah, click down there, look for us on socials, Headspace Hockey, Instagram, Threads, X, Twitter, Facebook. Drop us a message, drop us a comment, drop us a like, drop us a sub, and we'll see you next week. And I'll let you in on what happens on my day in life with the Vancouver Canucks next week.
Yeah. I just posted the link in the chat. Oh, Duo, you're right at the end. You pulled a Brandon Astle from the other day, jumping in at the very end, but it's all good. Thanks for those of you that are still around. Thank you for watching. As I mentioned earlier, I know we kind of started off on a bit of not a sour note, but a little softer note because of, today. Hopefully today's goes okay. I get my imaging done and I can just, relax and hopefully not think about it too much, but we will see that. Once again, if you guys enjoyed this post game, hit that like button and subscribe to the Line Change, and be sure to have your notifications turned on so you don't miss more in-depth analysis of your Vancouver Canucks. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys. Well, you'll see me in the next post game.